Hello everyone, this is Michaela. Welcome to my channel. I have COVID, so we're going to be doing things a little bit differently today. Unfortunately, I've lost my voice a little bit, so I've got a little bit of a rasp. So please just bear with me. I'm very sorry if anything is difficult to hear. But I really wanted to talk to you guys about the Game Awards today. I wanted to talk to you guys about specifically Game of the Year, the nominees, and kind of talk about just the celebration of it all. This is one of my absolute favorite times of year. We watch it every year. We like to treat it almost like the Super Bowl in my house. We make lots of snacks and we all sit down together, and a lot of the time we invite people over. This year it will be just us since we do have COVID, so it's very unfortunate. It's going to be sad, but I'm still very excited. Speaking of COVID, I have completely lost my sense of taste and smell. It's very unfortunate because the snacks are one of my favorite parts of the celebration. So if any of you have any recommendations for things that you can do to get kind of your senses back faster, please let me know in the comments below. With that being said, let's get a little bit into the nominees and talk about who I think is going to win Game of the Year this year. And just for the record, there will be a little bit of bias in this particular topic because I've only played a couple of the games that are nominated. However, I still want to take some time to talk about the others just because there are some really great nominees this year. And I also want to talk about one game that didn't get nominated that I'm actually kind of surprised. So let's get into it. Let's talk about Alan Wake 2 and Resident Evil 4 specifically. I am let's say I have anxiety. I have a lot of anxiety, so I tend to avoid games that give me more anxiety. I think that as an adult, the world is a very anxious place post-COVID, and just with the last few years there's been so much just infighting here in the US, and so yes, I tend to be high anxiety, and so a lot of the time I will avoid anything that will cause more anxiety. That being said, I did play Resident Evil 4 when I was much younger, the original, not the remake, and I do remember liking it quite a bit. Now, it has been a long time, obviously, since then, but I remember it being a pretty good game. I don't know very much about Alan Wake. To me, it definitely reminds me of like an indie film turned into a game. It's like very artsy and very cool. But yeah, I have not played either of them. I do know that they're both very good. I will admit that Resident Evil 4 is very good. I am a little surprised that it did make the Game of the Year nominees list. One of the games that I thought that should be on the list that's not is probably Final Fantasy 16. It's definitely one of my games of the year. It was just very, very good. I am very excited about Ben Starr being nominated for voice actor, though. I think that it's very well deserved. He did give an awesome performance as Clive. Yeah, if you have a game that you're surprised that didn't make this list, by the way, please comment it in below and let me know. I want to move on to Mario, and I will say once again that I did not play this particular Mario. The last Mario game that I played was Super Mario Odyssey, which was very, very good, and I believe nominated for Game of the Year that year. So yeah, I don't know very much about this one, but I mean, Mario is very solid. Like let's just be honest, it's very good every year. Every time they come out with a new one, it's almost always one of the best sellers. Nintendo is very good at what they do, so not much else to say there. But the two that I really, really want to talk about today, and the two that I'm kind of like struggling between, although I do think that I have a favorite to win this year, are Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate 3. And I'll start with Tears of the Kingdom because I was definitely one of those people who just was not very impressed with Breath of the Wild. It was a little bit empty, a little bit repetitive for me. There weren't very many enemy types. And they got rid of temples in the traditional sense, which kind of is one of my favorite parts of playing a Zelda game. And so, yeah, I was definitely in the minority that was not a big fan of Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom, on the other hand, I do feel like fixed a lot of the just complaints that I had about the first one. I didn't mind as much the breakable weapons this time, or didn't mind as much the things that bothered me in the first one. I feel like they fixed a lot. I think the temples were a lot longer, more interesting, and more varied. I thought that the traversal and the fact that they added an underground and also floating islands made the world building and exploration much more exciting. I think that the new powers that they made were incredibly diverse and varied. They helped with traversal, but also puzzle solving, and made things like super fun. I almost feel like the one where you could like pop up through the ground was almost broken in a sense. It made things very easy. You could definitely abuse some of the powers in the game, but I think that's the great thing about like a sandbox type game, is when they do make powers like that and you put them together in various ways, and they can be game breaking, and I think that's what's so fun. So yeah, I think that Tears of the Kingdom definitely has a solid shot at winning, but I think that overall my game of the year is almost certainly Baldur's Gate 3. I think I've played a little over 60 hours at this point. I've done one playthrough as Tav, and I'm currently working on a playthrough as Dark Urge. And it's just one of the best role-playing games that I've ever experienced. It reminds me a lot of the first time that I played Dragon Age Origins. It's just so very it's such an easy world to get invested in and transported to. And I know that not everyone is probably a big fan of the just what is it, a CRPG, I think. And not everyone is a big fan of like the gameplay, but the nice thing is that they do have Explorer mode, and with patch 5 that just came out, they also have a custom mode where you can make the game even easier. So the nice thing is that you can pretty much go through it now and just experience the story with very little combat difficulty, which makes the game not only accessible but also fun, and it opens up just a lot of variety in your experience. I think that I almost feel like it's worth a gosh, this is coming off as so biased. It's just so good, you guys. It's so good. It's it sucked me in for days, and I love every single one of the pivot companions. I mean, Karlach and Shadowheart are two of the best written characters that I've ever seen in a game. Astarion, with his just his past trauma, captivated my heart. I know that probably is true for a lot of you as well. But yeah, so I think ultimately just Baldur's Gate 3, man, is where it's at. That is definitely my pick for game of the year this year. The rest are still very, very good, I'm sure. And again, I'm really interested to know, one of my favorite kind of tense games is probably Prey or like The Last of Us. So please let me know in the comments below if Alan Wake 2 and Resident Evil 4 Remake are anything like those. I would be interested in playing them if the fear level is at an acceptable kind of range. I'm a little bit of a baby. And let me know what snacks you guys are making. Very excited to sit down and watch it. And yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update of what's going on. Thank you so much for watching. In the next video, I do plan on covering Zenless Zone Zero. I was lucky enough to get into the beta, and I'm very excited to talk about it because I've been having a really good time while I was sick. But I just wanted to do something quick today to give you guys an update about where I'm at. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.